Hello, welcome to Wine and Words Wednesday. My name is Mary Bear Shannon. I am a reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library. And again, this is Wine and Words Wednesday. You have joined me live on Facebook on my back deck, enjoying this gorgeous day. I don't think we'll have too many of these left in the fall. But I have been thinking about fall as I've been getting ready for Wine and Words Wednesday. And so I've been thinking about Halloween poems and fall poems. So that is what I'm going to share with you today. Again, this is Wine and Words Wednesday. My name is Mary Bear Shannon. I am a reference librarian at the Haverford Township Free Library. For Wine and Words Wednesday, I actually, because it's fall, I have my cider instead of wine for Wine and Words Wednesday. So glad to have you here on my back deck as I share some poems for Halloween and for fall. So we'll get started. So my first poem is A Rhyme for Halloween by Morris Kilween Guevara. And here we go. Tonight I light the candles of my eyes in the lee, and swing down this branch full of red leaves. Yellow moon, skull and spine of the hair, arrow me to town on the neck of the air. I hear the undertaker make love in the heather. The candy maker, poor fellow, is under the weather. Skunk, moose, raccoon, they go to the doors in threes, with a torch in their hands, or please, oh please. Baruch Spinoza and the butcher are drunk. One is the tail and one is the trunk. One is the tail and one is the trunk of a beast who dances in circles for beer and doesn't think twice to learn how to steer. Our clock is blind, our clock is dumb. Its hands are broken, its fingers numb. No time for the martyr of our fair town, who wasn't a witch because she could drown. Now the dogs of the cemetery are starting to bark at the vision of her bobbing up through the dark. When she opens her mouth to gasp for air, a moth flies out and lands in her hair. The apples are thumping, winter is coming. The lips of the pumpkin soon will be humming. By the call of the crow on the first of the year, something will die, something appear. So that's A Rhyme for Halloween. That's my first poem. I am, again, welcome to Wine and Words Wednesday. I am reading poetry for Halloween as well as the fall. My next poem is All Hallows by Louise Gluck. Even now, this landscape is assembling. The hills darken, the oxen sleep in their blue yoke, the fields having been picked clean, the sheaves bound early and piled at the roadside among cinquefoil as the toothed moon rises. This is the barrenness of harvest or pestilence, and the wife leaning out the window with her hand extended as in payment, and the seeds, distinct, gold, calling, come here, little one, and the soul creeps out of the tree. So that was All Hallows by Louise Gluck. So another Halloween poem that I'd like to read is by Carl Sandburg, and it's entitled Theme in Yellow. I spot the hills with yellow balls in autumn. I light the prairie cornfields, orange and tawny gold clusters, and I am called pumpkins on the last of October when dusk is fallen. children join hands and circle around me, singing ghost songs and love to the harvest moon. I am a jack-o'-lantern with terrible teeth, and the children know I am fooling. All right, and then another classic. This is the Song of the Witches. Double, double, toil and trouble. This is by William Shakespeare from Macbeth. Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake, in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and howlet's wing. For a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth boil and bubble. Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Cool it with a baboon's blood. Then the charm is firm and good. So that was from William Shakespeare's Macbeth. Double, double, toil and trouble. So another Halloween poem I have for you is by Ava Lavelle Heyman. The Witch Has Told You a Story. You are food. You are here for me to eat. Fatten up. I will like you better. Your brother will be first. You must wait your turn. Feed him yourself. You will learn to do it. You will take him eggs with yellow sauce, muffins torn apart, and leaking butter, fried meats late in the morning, and always sweets in a sticky parade from the kitchen. His vigilance, an ice pick of hunger pricking his insides, will melt with the unctuous cream fillings. He will forget. He will thank you. He will thank you for it. His little finger stuck every day through cracks in the bars will grow sleek and round. His hollow face swell like the moon. He will stop dreaming about fear in the woods without food. He will lean towards the maw of the oven as it opens every afternoon, sighing better and better smells. So some fall poems that I had to share start with A Day in Autumn by Rainier Maria Rilke, translated by Mary Kinsey. And Rainier Maria Rilke was the one that he wrote All Quiet on the Western Front. After the summer's yield, Lord, it is time to let your shadow lengthen on the sundials, and in the pastures let the rough winds fly. As for the final fruits, coax them to roundness, direct on them 2 days of warmer light to hail them golden towards their term, and harry the last few drops of sweetness through the wine. Whoever's homeless now will build no shelter, who lives alone will indefinitely so. Waking up to read a little, draft long letters, and along the city's avenues, fitfully wander when the wild leaves loosen. And another poem, again, this is Wine and Words Wednesday. We are sharing some Halloween and fall poems. My next poem is When the Frost is on the Pumpkin by James Whitcomb Riley. When the frost is on the pumpkin, in the fodders, in the shock, and you hear the coyote and gobble of the struttin' turkey cock, and the clackin' of the gurneys, and the cluckin' of the hens, and the roosters Hallelooker as he tiptoes on the fence. Oh, it's then the times a feller is a reelin' at best, with the risin' sun to greet him from a night of peaceful rest, as he leaves the house bareheaded and goes out to feed the stock, when the frost is on the punkin and the fodder's in the shock. There's something kinda hearty like about the atmosphere when the heat of summer's over and the cooling fall is here. Of course, we miss the flowers and the blossoms on the trees, and the mumble of the hummin' birds and buzzing of the bees. But the air's so appetizing, and the landscape through the haze of a crisp and sunny morning in the early autumn days is a picture that no painter has the coloring to mock when the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. The husky, rusty rustle of the tossels of the corn and the reaping of the tangled leaves as golden as the morn. The stubble in the furies, kinda lonesome like, but still a preachin' sermons to us of the barns they growed to fill. The straw stack in the medder and the reaper in the shed. The hosses in the hosses in their stalls below, the clover in the overhead. Oh, it sets my heart a clackin' in the tickin' of a clock when the frost is on the punkin and the fodder's in the shock. Then your apples all is gathered, and the ones a feller keeps is poured around the cellar floor in red and yellow heaps. And your cider making is over, cider, and your wimmerin' folks is through when with their mice with their mince and apple butter, and they souse the sausage too. I don't know how to tell it, but if such a thing could be, as the angels wantin' boarding, and they'd call around to me, I'd want to accommodate them, all the whole enduring flock, when the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock. Okay, a couple more fall poems that I'd like to share. This next one is Beyond the Red River by Thomas Mcgrath. The birds have flown their summer skies to the south, and the flower money is dying in the banks of bent grass, which the bumblebee has abandoned. We wait for a winter lion, body of ice crystals and sombrero of dead leaves. A month ago, from the salt engines of the sea, a machinery of early storms rolled towards the holiday houses, where summer still dozed in the poolside chairs, sipping an aging whiskey of distances and departures. Now the long freight of autumn goes smoking out of the land. My possibles are packed up, but still I do not leave. I am happy enough here, where Dakota drifts wild in the universe, where the prairie is starting to shake in the surf of the winter dark. And that's Beyond the Red River by Thomas Mcgrath. So lastly, for my poems about Halloween and fall is another fall poem, The Beautiful Changes by Richard Wilbur. One waiting a fall meadow finds on all sides the Queen Anne's lace lying like lilies. On water it glides. So from the walker it turns, dry grass to a lake as the slightest shade of view. Valleys my mind in fabulous blue luzernes. The beautiful changes as a forest is changed by a chameleon's turning his skin to it. As a mantis as a mantis arranged on a leaf, green leaf grows into it, makes the leaf leafier, and proves, and any greenness is deeper than anyone knows. Your hands hold roses always in a way that says, they're not only yours, the beautiful changes in such kind ways, wishing ever to sunder things and things selves for a second finding, to lose for a moment all that it touches back to wonder. So those are my poems that I have for Wine and Words Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. We will be switching to a once a month schedule for Wine and Words Wednesday. Our next time to do our Facebook Live program at 5 p.m. on Wednesday will be Wednesday, November 20th. Thank you for joining and have a great day.